ninja, go. Go, ninja, go, ninja, go. Go, ninja, go, ninja, go. I have to stop. Hey guys, welcome back to the Bucket Think Tank. So we have three more chapters in the Ninja Turtles comic coming up here by Jason Aaron. And I was gonna wait, but I don't really know what's gonna happen next week. I know at the time this will come out um, the week that issue issue 8 comes out. And I don't know what I'm gonna be doing that week, so I figured let's do this now and call it in. So last I talked, we saw where all the turtles were at the time, and they were not in good places. Ironically, I think Donnie might have been in the best place. Well, at least the place that made the most sense. Actually, no, it was Raph. Raph was better off in prison before the plot happened. But anyway, so the turtles are all together, but we need to talk about New York. What's going on in there? So if you are new to the IDW Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles run, you've missed quite a bit. The most important thing here is, well, there's a mutant town. Yeah, so in one story in the IDW run, really during like the last heydays of being really good, depending on who you ask, a mutagen bomb went off, and a whole bunch of people became mutants, turned into animal mutant hybrids, and there was a whole point where the turtles could just walk around in that town like, hey, we're not the weirdest ones here. Actually, they were the weirdest ones because for a while they weren't wearing pants, and all the other mutants were wearing pants. It was a whole thing. But with that going on, New York has to deal with the fact that there's a population of their city that are mutants, and so they've given them a whole section of the city, Mutant Town, and boop boop ba doo. But that leads to some problems because, well, mutants. Anyway, so we talk about Senator, soon to be Mayor Hale. All right, and this issue is really about his origin story and how he gets to become a big player here. He talks about, I get you. He sort of wants to throw us for a loop. Like, I bet you guys thought I was some dude who was bullied in school and made fun of. No, actually, I was worse. I was invisible. And, oh, okay, okay, okay. I got a little column A, a little bit column B, really. But whatever. So he talks about how the fact that, growing up, he was invisible. Like, no one talked to him, no one made fun of him. He just, hey, he's Naruto. What's the problem? They don't acknowledge my existence. And he basically slowly went Gara. But as an adult, as a healthy, functioning person, he didn't kill people. No, he became a lawyer. He was such a good lawyer, though, that he would eviscerate people like in mock trials and in actual trials. One day he gave um, a closing argument so great the judge stood up and applauded. I'm like, dude, if the judge stands up and applauds, see if you can strike a deal. See if you can strike a deal. Might be too late. But currently, as the now mayor, he's using the Foot Clan as the as his private police force effectively. And there's been talks about, hey, them overstepping their boundaries, causing problems, police state stuff mess. But what we find out is what I really wasn't liking him. Holly here talks about his parents and how much he loves his parents, and how the first thing he did when he really was making money was buy them a nice apartment for them. And every time they saw Holly, they would be like so happy. Like, there's our boy. They would keep clippings from when he was in the newspaper and everything. So they were his support team. In other words, he might have been at worst a dick. All right, but then he's killed by, well, a mutant, and no one can find him and whatnot. So he's sort of dealing with the fact his parents were murdered. And while he's ranting about how much he doesn't like mutants, which is sort of like his other character flaw here, probably a major one, he's met by Bebop and Rocksteady, who take him to meet Karai. And he's like, hey, Karai, hey, we found the mutant that killed your parents. And pretty much the story here was he was newly mutated, he was freaking out, he was scared, he was looking for help, his parents sort of jumped the gun, he was defending himself. Okay, this sounds like a moment where, you know what, cooler heads did not prevail. Now the question is, should he be given a pass for that? I don't particularly know. I would say he needs to turn himself in. But the problem is, I'm not quite sure how Mutant Town or how mutants work for this because realistically, they were humans up until the mutant bomb went off. So they should still have rights. They just I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I kind of faded off the IDW Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles run around this time. But anyway. So crowd, hey, so we brought him back. Turns out Holly knows about the Foot Clan. Apparently, you can't be in the upper levels of power in New York and not know about the Foot Clan. All right, all right. Also, apparently, the secret history of the Foot Clan book is supposed to tie into this a bit, or at least help set this up. So Corella, hey, look, take this. Actually, no, we'll do one better. I'll put it in the middle of the floor. All right. So, which one of you is gonna go get it? All right. There's a race for it. Karai helps him out, and he's about to kill the mutant. Karai stops him and says, "Oh yeah, we got the whole thing on camera." So now Karai's blackmailing him to effectively run for mayor, and do her bidding. So I'm like, is he a bad guy? Is he a victim, or is he just sort of a guy who sort of has his faults and is now sort of stuck in this position here? Casey is sort of not dealing with it, putting up with any of this. No, the turtles are gone. Mutant Town is having its problems, and it's not looking well for anybody. So he comes in and fights the Foot Clan because the Foot Clan have such inconsistent power levels. They're highly trained ninjas, but Casey can beat him with a cricket bat because he knows what crumpet is. He talks about how he's been using the Foot Clan to go after the turtles. So, okay, so he's aware of something here, and he gets Casey, shoots Casey. He does sort of mention that whatever instructions Karai gave him, she was not to be disturbed. So I don't think he knows where Karai is. But overall, I think this first issue was a great way to sort of look into Mayor Hawley, and I can't quite figure him out. I think he's a dick. I think he's a dick. He's probably a bigot, but I like the fact that his bigotry seems more to be based off of the actual tragedy. At least that's my take on it. He might also just be a garbage human. Whichever one. We'll see what happens. Issue 6 deals with the turtles coming back to New York. I like this cover because they're floating through, or they're swimming through what looks to be the ooze, or the mutagen. I prefer ooze. It's more fun to say ooze. So here we are. They're back in New York City in the sewers, and Mikey sort of complained, like, "Why are we going through the sewers?" Like, "Cause we're still being, chased by the Foot Clan, and which means we have to figure out what Karai's doing." And they're all just sort of not in a good place right now. Mikey is still mad at Raph. He doesn't believe that Raph was innocent, which is why he was in jail. Leo doesn't believe it either. Mikey's mad because his TV show got canceled because, well, he's an accessory to a murderer, i.e., Raph. It leads to more and more fighting. Donnie's like, Master Splinter says we have to stop fighting. As he holds up the dead rat, Mikey's like, Donnie, buddy, that's not. Raph keeps telling him to shut, like, do not tell him, like, shut up. And Mikey's like, don't tell me to shut up. All right, so you tell me that. Leo's like, look, I'll tell you. Shut up, Mikey. And Raph's like, you know what? Fine. I won't say it. I'll just do it. I'll make him shut up. And as they're fighting, and Donnie's trying to get them all to calm down, and still talking to Master Splinter, it turns out they're not alone here. The Foot Clan's been waiting for them, which makes sense. I mean, if they failed to get them 4 different times, there's only one place they would go. So as they're going through the city, taking some bikes, trying to escape the Foot Clan, um, yeah, they're met by more Foot. They got arrows, and oh, it's wild. Okay, get off the roof, get off the roof, get off the roof. The police have arrows. Yeah, with tear gas. We gotta go. We gotta go. They're met by the fire department. Guess what? It's the Foot. The Foot. They're everything. The Foot is a foot. Ah, 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 ah. Um, they're about to go into Donnie, but we cut to Casey in the hospital being visited by April. April, who visited undercover because the Foot Clan is, of course, watching them. She tells Casey, like, hey, look, you keep fighting and I'll fight too. I'm like, okay, okay. That's great. Christ know where he is here. I'm glad he survived getting shot like that. So Raph wants to keep fighting. Leo is like, we can't be seen fighting the police, Raph. They already don't like us. And now you want us to beat up firemen and police officers? It leads to more fighting. Everybody's getting punched this episode. Um, Donnie's trying to like talk to Master Splinter still. Then they get beat up by the Foot Clan. Oh, it's wild. Then Mayor Hale comes in like, "Hey guys, so we go in," and we get weird narration from someone who may or may not be Master Splinter. I know who it is because I read the next issue, but you don't get to know that yet. So the question now is, okay, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? And it's like, we see like, hey, they actually are labeled as murderers, and fugitives of justice, killers in a half shell, all four of them. Also, a better look at Donnie's shell because he got a replacement shell, and we're still talking. He's still holding the rat. And then we cut to issue 7, which is like, the new story arc begins here. Although we won't get that until next week, so we'll see. We'll see. I'm trying to go every 3 issues for the turtle story. Um, See how we feel. We try that every time, don't we? So anyway, um, Donnie's like, okay, we got to find a plan. This is actually my favorite issue because Donnie's narrating, and Donnie is my boy. Best turtle, best turtle. Overrated, overrated. Sort of in the middle, depending on the story. But yeah, my boy Donnie doesn't get enough love. So he's the one that actually helps them escape by throwing his bow staff at the screen, which causes like it to explode a bit. Like, okay, into the sewers, into the sewers. Like, I know, but we got to go somewhere. So now everyone's arguing about what they want to do. All right, Leo wants to go after Karai. Raph wants to go after the mayor. Mikey wants to figure out what's going. He's like everyone wants to do something different, and the argument just keeps going and going. Raph goes off, Leo goes off, Mikey goes off, and Donnie's like, "Ugh, what are we gonna do, Master Splinter? What are we gonna do, Father?" Still talking to the dead rat, and so Mayor Hale like declares war and open season on the turtles. Mikey gets jumped by the Foot Clan. Leo is stopping people from killing pet turtles and turtle shops, which is okay. That is, I'm not going to fault Leo for that. But also met by the Foot Clan. Raph goes to visit Casey in the hospital, and he's met by the Foot Clan. The Foot Clan also send people after April because she's a known associate of the turtles, and April is saved by a bunch of rats. Okay. Okay. And there's this whole sort of narration by Donnie pointing out that they're all motivated by something else. They're doing this for rage, for revenge, for all these other things that don't matter at the end of the day. Like, hey, we're great fighters, but we're all thick headed. We all think we know what's right, but we're also not working together here. So when they all go back, Donnie's like, hey guys, so you need to focus, all right? You're not paying attention, like you're not hearing father. And Mike's like, hey, I got something for you. I got something for you. All right, look, it's father. See, he's holding up a rat. And Donnie's like, Mikey, that's a rat. That's not father. I'm like, still keeping the dead rat on his shoulders, like, look, you guys don't realize it, but you've never been alone. And Donnie starts bringing out truth bombs like, Mikey, you say you were happier with your TV show, but no, you never felt more alone. And Leo, I'm sorry you just felt you couldn't belong with those turtles again. Just that was a very weird and stupid story, Leo. And Raph, I know you were scared in prison. He's like, how? Like, because you each of you thought you were alone, but you weren't. He was always there. You just have to listen. And of course, they don't want to listen and they go off. So Donnie's whole point is like the only way to really make a difference is to be the turtles again. So he's going out and he's fighting the Foot Clan, all right? And the way that they used to do, like, you know what? They're just bullies, all right? Like, so Donnie interrupts some foot soldiers basically offering a protection racket. Like, hey, you give us some money and we make sure the mutants don't bother you. Like, but mutants don't bother me. You're going to have some trouble if you don't either way. They're actually, we're going to rob the guy. And Donnie comes in like, no, 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 no. He comes in, fights like, you know what? I'll keep fighting. And that's how this ends. Overall, I think this was really fun. Issue 7, yeah, it's my favorite. Donnie's narrating. Also, Donnie turns out isn't crazy. And I think that's my favorite bit about this. I think some people may feel this might have been more appropriate for Leo, especially if you go by the first Ninja Turtles movie where it's Leo who connects with Master Splinter, but also remember Splinter's dead. Also, I was watching a video about the Ninja Turtles talking about Donnie, and Donnie has sort of been he's gotten the sort of the tech guy label, and that might not be the most accurate one for him. He's the one who's most interested about how the world works. That doesn't just limit itself to hard science. All right, the idea that he would go into mysticism to some level, and that he was the one the most interested in their powers when they were doing the whole Armageddon game dealing in the mysticism, I think that works too, because it also is trying to understand how the world works. So I do like that. Yeah, this is my favorite page here. I love it. I love it. Mm, all right, Jason Aaron, you know what? Just for this, I'm gonna give you Avengers Run another shot. All right, I'm gonna give you Avengers Run another shot. But anyway, with that in mind, let's make some closing. If you are new to the Bug, thank you for me to like, comment, share, and subscribe. What's your favorite Ninja Turtle movie? For me, it's a tie between the first and the second one. I know, I'm old, and it's basic, nostalgia driven. But I'm not gonna lie, the 2007 one, while it looked good, I didn't like the idea that only Leo had to improve, and so he left, where everyone else just sort of did whatever. Um, the Michael Bay ones, those designs, no, no. 2012 on Nickelodeon might be my favorite Ninja Turtles series. Um, but also 2003. Like those might be my favorites. Um, the newer one where they were all big and Raph was Leo. Those designs couldn't do it for me. And same with Mutant Mayhem. Like these designs don't. Those designs didn't do it for me. So anyway, in your thoughts in the comment section. I'll catch you all later. This is the Bucket Think Tank signing off. Thanks for watching as always. May your fandom serve you well.